Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roth.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our Only Murders in the Building Season 5, Episode 9 reaction and review. Let's just take a temperature check. How's everybody doing? How's everyone feeling about the reveals at the end of this episode?
Well, are all the reveals exactly what they present to be? Did Lester really kill Nicky? He never admitted to it. I feel very conflicted about it because the way that they're trying to kind of set it up to be like, oh, Lester killed somebody to save the building. Oh, Lester. I'm like, oh no, he's a murderer? Like, that's not great. I don't want to see him be a murderer.
Batman's not even a murderer in every adaptation of
know.
it. So it's just like, we don't need Lester to be the most extreme version of Batman in the Arconia.
Especially since he doesn't know that that would actually do anything. You're going to kill somebody to hope that then what? Camilla doesn't end up buying the building because she did anyways.
This is a very good episode with some really weird reveals. It's sort of the opposite of how I feel about some of the episodes this season, where I sit back and I think, oh, I'm really excited about where they're going, but they took a long time to get here. I thought this episode itself, storytelling wise, really, really great.
Very emotional.
I'm just feeling very confused about some of the things that they showed us.
I feel like this all just has to be red herrings. They're gonna
Please.
please. It can't be that Lester is a murderer. Our sweet Lester is a murderer, because if you're going to do that, and he just needs to be the slasher and be done with it, that it can't be his last thing that he decided to do before he died was to kill somebody over the building. And then on the other hand, we also have Nonna. Now, everybody out there that had Nonna in the comments, pat yourself on the shoulder. It seems like she is actually involved to some degree.
But I don't think she's the killer of Lester.
I don't think she's a killer. No, there's no way. She's scooting around killing Lester. I don't think so.
It's just all so bizarre, because usually the end of episode 9, like, this is where we get a fairly definitive answer. And if this is Only Murders throwing us off, like, applause to you guys for completely confusing us.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about it. Like, we'll get into exactly how we're feeling about it, the timelines, like, trying to make sense of some of these reveals, because, yeah, it's pretty tough. But before we dive into anything more here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we are here with multiple Only Murders in the Building videos a week. We have a preview coming up here. We also are covering Gen V, and this weekend, Welcome to Derry is here on HBO.
We are really excited about what's coming up here at the channel, what's going on right now. Hit that subscribe button and stick with us. And also head over to our Instagram. We have a lot of fun new pictures up there from over the weekend. There's tons of stuff going on over there. And there's some Only Murders discussion going on over there as well. So head over there and hit that follow button.
Thank you guys very much for your support and following us over on Instagram.
Okay. Who thinks that Lester actually killed Nicky? Raise your hand.
Okay. No, I'm not doing it.
No, me neither. We are in agreement. I don't think so.
I came close. I'll admit, there was a part of me that wanted to rate, because I got sucked into, like, the Only Murders charm of, oh, look at Lester the hero. But then once I stopped watching, and sometimes this happens in life, you get in the heat of the moment of something and you're like, oh, right, eating all of this chocolate cake at the buffet is awesome. But then 2 hours later, you're like, what did I do? And I feel like after watching this episode, what are they doing? Because logically, it is a huge leap that Lester is going to do this, unless we are, as you mentioned, diving back into the Lester is the slasher discussion we had over a year ago.
Yeah, and this season has made me kind of just move away from the Lester is the slasher theory that we talked about that's been out there for a while, because they have kind of gone through his life. A lot of the stuff that he's been doing, he's been taking this money from Nicky for years to, open the doors for this velvet room, this stuff that shouldn't have been happening, he's been participating in. But that is a huge leap to then jump from I'm opening the door to some gambling to I'm now going to use this elevator crank to kill somebody, even with him being like, he's a mobster. It's like, Okay,
Mhm.
you've been taking money from him for years to continue on to allow this gambling going on in the building, which is not okay and not legal either. So, like,
Yeah.
it's just very weird. It feels a bit like they're tainting my poor Lester's name, that they're just gonna let this go and he's just gonna be a murderer. I don't like it.
Well, this is where, and maybe we both are just going through stages of denial here, but it's where I go back to everything that Randall said about Lester in this episode and their conversations and what we saw through the Lester robot. At no point, like you said, does he ever say, I killed him.
No.
All he really says is that this elevator crank, a part of the old Arconia, is used to preserve the Arconia. Now,
Right.
what does that mean? I mean, there's one school of thought here that is, okay, did he supply the weapon for someone else? Did
Mhm.
somebody else in a tussle get a hold of that elevator crank? Did he just let somebody else in to do the job? Like, I think clearly he didn't want the Arconia to change. He didn't want it to become a casino. I understand all of that. He could have been involved without being a killer, where it's like, yeah, aiding and abetting, also a crime, but not the same crime as murder.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at Nikki and you look at Lester, Lester would have had to like overheard Nikki maybe talking to Camilla and like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna buy out the Arconia, we're gonna turn this into casino. Lester would have had to get the jump on him. I mean, Nicky's a really big guy. He's a younger guy. Lester, I don't know. It's kind of hard to believe it unless he just happened to jump him from behind, and maybe that's how Camilla and the rest of the billionaires are trying to cover everything up because they don't want to get their hands dirty.
No,
They said that there was 4 people down there. The 5th person could have been Lester, who came down just bonk. But man, I hope not.
this is where we all have to circle back to a discussion we've had many times here, which is just all of the loose ends this season. We've talked about
Mhm.
this 5th person. Like, we had a long discussion. Like, you really went into the affair that Sofia was having, that Nicky learned a little bit about. Like, that is not addressed in this episode at all. Like, that's still dangling here as well.
Yeah, and that's where we start to get into the sons, Nona, because if they're, this affair is somebody that we all have met, say the mayor or Jay or whoever, it's possible that all the sons and the Nona know about it as well. If
Yeah.
Nicky walked in on this and he's telling Camilla about this, maybe they all knew about it as well, and it's all really just a family affair at this point.
Okay. Raise your hand if you are satisfied about the idea that Nona and these kids are all involved in the responsible parties for Lester's demise. Yeah, I don't think there's many hands out there.
No, but if they were responsible for Nikki, that would possibly make some sort of sense. Possibly, maybe, but not really for the affair. Feels like it would have to be something else, like maybe business related. Like if maybe because the Velvet Room was the legacy of Sophia, that means that it would go to the boys. If Nikki is now in here being like, you know what? This affair, I'm not having it. I am going to take that legacy. That means that he's taking that legacy from those boys, and those boys may not be having it. And in comes Brayden, who we've been talking about being the killer since the beginning.
Okay, they do have a motive. I will give you this. Like, the Sons have a legitimate reason to want to do something about it because, yeah, they want their legacy. They want to preserve this. They don't seem capable of making a lot of money on their own.
Yeah.
But here is the problem I have with all of this, beyond just that none of them are that meaningful of characters. These Sons are idiots. And I just sit here
But
and,
Nona isn't.
okay,
So she's the brains and they're the muscle.
it could work if they're really going behind the idea. Okay, the Nona's the mastermind. She's telling them to do X, Y, or Z. It's all intricately planned. Maybe I could buy it.
Well, the biggest clue to it is that they're trying to set up another family, another crime family. So if that's the case, then it's very likely then that it is this family that's trying to set it up. That's like, oh, look over here at this other crime family, not us. We would never take out our own. Why would we ever do such a thing? So we also have to talk about the finger, and I think the finger is really related to somebody who was in the Velvet Room. Because if Lester is like, hey, Randall, I really need this shrimp to be delivered to Oliver because, Oliver and the trio, they're the ones that are going to figure everything out for me. It truly feels like it is somebody from the Velvet Room's finger. Now we know that, Jay's got this bandage on. He's never really, like, he's explained it, but it just sounds like a lie. It's probably his. It could be Camilla's. I've been saying that she's wearing gloves, so you don't really know what's happening there. Like, what is she covering up with those gloves? So he has this finger, he's put it into the shrimp and it's going to Oliver. So he had to have been in that Velvet Room to know about that finger.
Yeah, and it's something we've talked about. I suggested that this finger in this shrimp might be a possibility, might be a sign of what's coming up. They really do. They need to tie all this together. And I think beyond just tying it all together, there needs to be something that establishes, okay, you guys are really silly for not missing this. Here is the clue, X, Y, or Z. And I think the possibilities then go into either Jay's cast, Camilla always wearing gloves, like you said, or the mayor and the big handshake theory, everything that was going on at the start of the season.
Yeah, like if the other person that was happened to be down there is the mayor, and the mayor is the person who was having the affair with Sofia, that would then tie in the boys and the Nonna to this finger. Because I'm kind of like, depending on whose finger this is and who was in the Velvet Room, if it is somebody that was in the Velvet Room, how would these 6 people know about it? And the only way they would really know about it is either through Nicky or through Sofia, and who Sofia was having the affair with, and they happened to be there.
And that is why I have been in denial, I should say, about the mayor for a long time, just because of all of these clues. The fact that Sofia and Charles were together when the mayor walked in, the idea that this is leverage they could hold over him, like everything feels like it's trending in this direction.
It's all connecting back for me to whoever it is that was sleeping with Sofia, and that the family is all involved because of this one person.
But here is the really good news, is that as confused and frustrated as I might be about some of the reveals right now, and once again, it might be denial talking, I'm really gratified that they're not trying to neatly tie everything together. It gives us something to still wonder about entering the finale rather than it just being, oh, how are they going to catch the bad guys?
For sure, because I truly don't think that the Nonna and the 5 sons are just, this is it. We're going to into the finale and this is it.
Yeah.
Like, if it's the mayor and it really is, he is the person that is going to hold all the cards of whether Bash, Jay, or Camilla end up getting the casino, and them as their family legacy want to have that casino, then they do not want Nicky to take it away from them. So that would take out Nicky, and they don't want Camilla to have it either. So who do they need? They need the mayor. The mayor is the one piece, right? So it really feels like to me that the family has all gotten together to find a way to protect the mayor for whatever it is the mayor has done, which I think is killed Nicky.
Well, this is the thing with the finger, is that they can protect the mayor with it, but they can also use it to say, Mayor, if you ever get out of line, you're up for re-election. You have a lot riding on all of this. If we do one wrong thing, your entire career is over. And as far as we know, Mayor Tillman, not a billionaire. He needs the power. Like, this is the only source of it he has.
Absolutely. I just really think that this whole family is working together to just hold on to the legacy, because this whole season has been about old New York, new New York, money, legacy. And the fact that Nicky had said that to Camilla originally, where he was just like, yeah, this is her legacy. This isn't mine to be able to do what I want with. This is my wife's legacy. If he all of a sudden is like, I'm taking it, I don't care, that means that Sofia is losing it, the sons are losing it, the Nonna is definitely not going to have that their family is losing this.
If we're going to stay quickly on the subject of things that really surprised us, Randall's loyalty to Lester beyond the grave is unprecedented. You did not work with him for that long. You were willing to run away from the trio, pretend that you have fled the country, like
That
create
was
a
so funny.
it was really, really funny. But then you're caught and then everything comes out. It's just, you're a very sweet, loyal man. But did anyone else out there feel like, okay, Randall, you didn't know him for that long. Do you really need to put yourself through this?
I agree. I agree. I hope that in this finale that we might get a little more of why Randall was that loyal, because they haven't really given enough of that.
Yeah. Now, I will say, surprisingly, and that's a very uppercase surprisingly,
Mhm.
the robot stuff worked a lot better than I thought it was going to. I was really worried coming in it was going to be all robot all the time. It really wasn't. I think this episode is the best performance Michael Cyril Creighton has ever done on this show as Howard.
It was just so nice to have him back in a much bigger role than he has been this season. He's been missing quite a lot. And the really emotional moments with Charles, where he's just like, yeah, I lost my mom. And then Jonathan has left me, and all I have is this robot. And now I don't have this anymore. Like, everything is just gone in my life. Like, man, my heart was really breaking for him. He just has like this such deep loneliness that he just can't get a handle on, which is something that Charles also truly understands and is trying to find a way to quell that loneliness in himself as well.
Howard made me feel like such a jerk watching this because I just assumed that he and Jonathan were okay. And this was all just a byproduct of Jonathan being, I never thought for a second that, oh,
No.
they're not together. And that's why I, after watching, was like, why didn't I assume this? How callous am I?
It's too bad that they're going to kill off Howard in the final
Oh,
season.
no,
Yeah, I
no.
think he's going to be the final victim of the show because we all love him.
And that's once again why I struggle with this. Oh, is he the big bad behind everything who has been watching the trio from the beginning? Because
He could be.
they make us love him so much.
Yeah.
And they've kind of established all these little emotional moments where we really get on board this character. But I think there's a bigger bridge for Howard to work more with the trio moving forward. It already seems clear. Howard is essential to figuring out the Nonna part of it. Like, you shouldn't completely ice him out here.
No, it was such a nice moment too, where he's the person that was able to help crack this case that they were really struggling with, and that they really gave him his flowers and was just like, it's all you, Howard. If it wasn't for you, this never would have happened. Yeah, that smile on his face to be like, man, I was really helpful and I was part of this in a really significant way. It was absolutely amazing.
One last shout out here to Only Murders, and another reason why this episode was so good to me, the nostalgia of it. Teddy Demas back with a pretty big role. He had the funniest line of the entire episode in relation to Howard and the robot, which I cannot repeat here at the channel.
Yes, too dirty for the channel.
But I love seeing him. Theo completely wasted in this episode, but I'm still really glad that he was there.
Yeah, I wish there was more of him, obviously, but I will take anything. It doesn't matter to me because he is endgame with Mabel. Get Jay out of here. He wants to take her on a yacht and
No.
have her be like his yacht lady. No, thank you.
Now, speaking of people who are together, though, Vince and Uma.
I know.
I never thought I would ship it, and yet here I am shipping it.
It's so weird too because I've been shipping Charles with Uma for a really long time. There's something about the two of them that just made me feel like they would be a really good match. But I didn't know that I needed Uma and Vince together until she was like, buy me a sandwich. Okay.
It's such a weird, from the guy who seemingly wants to be accepted by everyone to the woman who just hates everyone. How is this going to work?
It's so cute.
It is really cute, but we're obviously beyond excited to see where the finale is going with all this. Until then, we will continue to be in denial. Lester, you did not kill Nicky.
Oh my God, please don't make his character go out being a murderer, that after
No.
all this time that he's going to have this big story that's like, oh man, there were all these murders on my watch. I feel so bad. I should have been paying better attention. I should have been helping people too. I'm now the murderer. I just can't deal with it. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's just really frustrating to think about. I
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't believe
it's only
any of this.
Episode 9. We got one more to go.
The final shoe has yet to drop, guys. We'll be back to talk about the finale. But
Yes.
before we go here, like, what did you guys think about this episode? Are you down the denial hole with us? Let us know. hit that subscribe button for more Only Murders. And if you do want to support us further, be sure to join our Patreon. We are covering Slow Horses exclusively over there. Amazing season of that show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your support,
Thank you.
and we will see you here next time.